Okay, so let's walk through the setup of the two-cart spring mass damper system for DMC. Alright, so there's a couple things we want to make sure that we have. Alright, the first is that we have the cart, which you can see is facing outward, and there's a power button there which is lit up in blue that needs to be turned on. Alright, and that needs to be facing towards one of these digital encoding readers, which will read this motion. Alright, same thing goes for the second cart. Alright, you can see that it's over here. Alright, and then what we want to do is make sure that that's also connected, and then we see that both of these are connected to the LabQuest Mini box. And what we're going to always try to do is make sure that the one that's on the right is connected into digital input 1, and that the one that's on the left is going to be connected to digital input 2. Alright, so essentially all we need to make sure is that the carts are facing outwards, meaning that this pin here and these dashed lines are facing outwards. Alright, and these are connected by spring to the exterior parts, and then on the interior we'll see that we have another spring which is connected through these holes, and that connects the two together. Okay, so that means that if I move one, then they are a linked connected system. Alright, so now let's settle those back down. The simplest version of this experiment involves just looking at the motion of one cart, and to do that what we'll do is we'll take these pins here. You see there's a bolt here which we can scoot, and we're going to use this to pin one cart down so that way it cannot move. Okay, so we'll pin it on both the left, and then we'll have to do a little bit of trickery to move it underneath this cart. We'll just have to pick this one up off the track and scoot the pin, set it back down, and then we're going to pin the other side of this cart here. Okay, so now this one will not move, and so if I move just this cart, you can see that only one cart's moving. Alright, and that's what we're hoping for. Alright, that's the simplest version. If we're going to do two carts at the same time, then what we'll do is we'll loosen up the pin on both of these, and we'll make sure that this pin is on the other side. Okay, and what I will point out is that in this experiment, the input that we're going to be giving these carts is going to be a position input. So we do that by making sure that it's at whatever it is, and then moving it by, say, I don't know, 10 centimeters or whatever is written into the lab documentation, and then letting go. Now, the last big trick before I move on to the computer, the last big trick that we would need to do is to make sure if we're doing two carts, we need to be very careful because we don't want this cart, if I'm moving this cart to be my input, I don't want this cart to be starting in a position other than its 0 state. So I'm going to hold that one still and then move this to the input value, and then simultaneously let go. And you'll see that now we have some results. Now, I'll move to the computer. I'll go through this again in a screen capture video. But on the computer, what we want to make sure we do is we need to make sure that we go navigate down here to where it says Logger Pro 3. Make sure we click on that, and then come to the loggerpro.exe. I know that's hard to see on here, but I just want to get the general setup idea. Alright, we'll double click on that. We'll wait for it to load. which will take some time. Alright, and the one thing I want to make sure you notice is that we're not connecting this USB until the program has loaded. So now the program is loaded. So now we're going to connect the USB from the LabQuest Mini to the computer. And what you'll see is that it automatically detects it, and it changes the way that this is going to look. It tells me that there are 2 motion encoders connected, and then if I want, I can click 0 up here at the top. Again, I'll do this on a screen capture as well. Set 0 point, and I'm going to choose both to be zeroed and set OK. And then if I press collect and run my experiment, you'll see that I get data. Alright, more details will be in the screen capture video.